beautiful, and you're gonna love it.
Welcome to Breakfast of Imbeciles, the thinking man's analysis of giant hamster balls, lunch lady larceny, ham, and all the other hard-hitting stories cable news doesn't want you to hear.
No, it's not.
It's different. It's unusual.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, Breakfast of Imbeciles. That's right, Breakfast of Imbeciles every Tuesday and Thursday here on Griffin Radio. I'm your host, DJ Lunchbox, joined by...
the very tired DJ Thunderstruck.
With your large coffee, I noticed.
Let's see. Let's hope it helps. Let's hope it helps.
You know what? It can only help, because with you, we can only go up.
Well, I mean, it is hot. Maybe I could just pour a little on myself.
That'll wake you right up. We are here at Breakfast of Imbeciles every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. here on Griffin Radio. Don't forget, you can check us out on our Facebook account at Griffin Radio 119. Our Instagram account is Griffin Radio SD. And, of course, you can always hear us on the TuneIn app for your Android and iPhone under the Griffin Radio channel. Drop me a line at lunchboxthedj@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to consider any requests you may or may not have. Or just send me a comment. Let me know what you think about the show.
Yes, send us your hate mail.
Send us your hate mail. So, welcome, everybody, to the top-rated internet streaming show for college radio on Tuesday and Thursday mornings for El Cajon in Japan.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I don't know if that's true or not, but it feels right.
That's a gamble, but I feel like that's right.
My money would be right.
My money would be on that's right. That's true.
And
yeah.
Isn't that all that really matters?
You just got to keep lying to yourself.
I don't know about lying to myself. There's nothing wrong with being optimistic.
That's how I live my life.
God.
Just lie to yourself. Look at the man in the mirror every day and just lie.
Oh, that's so delightfully depressing. So we are looking forward to having a special guest later in the episode today. We will hopefully see him in a little bit, and we are going to play a little game as well.
Ooh.
Because we've gone too long without a game. We haven't had a lot of fun. Well, we have fun, but we haven't had fun with a capital F.
Capital.
But I was thinking I was rolling in my hoopty to Target, blasting some tunes on my Alpine this weekend. All right. And I was wailing along to some song, and I kind of had a sad moment, I realized. And I want to know if this is just me or if other people also feel frustrated when a song that you're singing and enjoying in your car is outside your vocal range and you just can't hit those notes.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Okay.
Happens all the time.
Because I'm doing pretty well during the stanzas. It's Rewrite the Stars from the Greatest Showman or Greatest Show.
Right.
I didn't see the movie, but the song came up on my Pandora playlist. I was like, oh, I like this. So I put it in my car and I'm listening to it. And I think it's Zac Efron that's singing the song, and I'm like, oh, he's got kind of that nice voice, and then he goes like, ee! Way high up, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I can't. I just got so sad. I was like, oh, I can't go up there with you. You've left me behind.
Going down a path I can't follow.
Oh God.
I was just kind of sad. I was like, maybe I just need to start doing my vocal exercises and stretching my instrument, get warm-ups in the car.
Yeah, we all think we could be a singer until those high notes come along. And
it's so true. I think we should put that on a pillow.
You're like, wow, wow, I could actually probably be a singer, and then, you turn to a coughing rage whenever you can't hit those notes.
We could all be a singer if the notes were just different.
Exactly. There you go. I could be on American Idol.
There you go. Shoot for the stars. Why the hell not? Speaking of pop music, though, I do enjoy quite a lot of it, and I know that's kind of a stunning surprise to look at me, to realize that I do like pop music for the most part.
Shocking.
But I also, I had a weekend of realizations here.
All right.
I also came to realize that I have a very strong love-hate thing with pop music. Like when I find a new song that I really like, I tend to overplay it to death. And then after about a week, I hate the song. Oh, for the love of God, sit down, join us. This is going to be a thing. Look at this. I got my new soundboard patched into the mixer here.
We're high tech here at Griffin Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have B-Milly with us.
It never gets old.
That is never going to stop being funny to me.
So royal.
Me either.
Ladies and gentlemen, B-Milly here joining us with Thunderstruck
royalty.
and myself for our penultimate show of the semester.
Oh. It feels penultimate with this intro music.
Just feels
I'm
right.
not quite sure how to take that. But anyway, as I was just saying, I have a kind of a love-hate thing with pop music. Like, I like it, and then I'll listen to it to death, and then I start to hate that song after a while. And there are some songs I'll listen to that come on and I just instantly dislike them, and it finally occurred to me in a lot of cases exactly why that is. Now, of course, there are just simply bad songs that you hear, but some songs you're like, it starts off well. Yeah, I hear that too.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Continue.
And
not mess with it.
I think I've realized what it is about certain pop songs that you just viscerally, or at least me, begin to hate immediately.
All right.
It's songs that are about physical things. Specifically songs that reference even a brand, like Paradiso Girl singing Patron Tequila a few years ago. It was just Patron Tequila, I'm drunk on my... It was just like the most irritating songs, and it was literally just an advertisement for doing shots.
Yeah.
And it was... And it had a really great beat. It had kind of like a nice Latin kind of rolling bass rumble to it. I was like, oh, this is good. And then they start singing about tequila. And I'm like, okay, I want to just blow my own brains out.
I mean, advertisers pay a ridiculous amount of money to get their name on things.
Absolutely.
On media. It is unbelievable how much money they give people.
But I want to know if this is something you guys also realize too. So like also Milkshake. You know, she's literally singing about her butt or her boobs or whatever part of her that's shaking at the time. I don't know. I didn't follow the metaphor to its logical conclusion. But if you sing about something specific, or Cheeseburger in Paradise, guy's literally talking about pickles and lettuce and tomato on a bun, and it's just irritating.
I'm going to be super rude here and actually look up.
You're allowed to use your
things.
phone if it's in aid of supporting this show.
Songs.
Not like Thunderstruck over here who gets bored and starts Instagramming.
Oh, my bad. Let me put down my phone.
Goatee looking fresh today. Click.
Well, I don't want pop songs about physics.
Well,
okay.
That sounds good to me.
So we were another day we were driving around. I think this was on Saturday. We were listening to the radio and the Jackson 5 came on with little Mikey singing "I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus."
Okay.
And the image of what he looked like right before he died flashed before my mind. And I just got to thinking, kids are like plant seeds. In that, when you got them in your hand, they all kind of look more or less the same, and you're kind of thinking, okay, I don't know what's gonna happen when I plant this thing. So you don't know if you've got a seed that's gonna grow into a beautiful flower, a sad mediocre spray of baby's breath, or a corpse flower. Oh, and I'm looking at Michael Jackson thinking, corpse flower. That one went right over the rails.
Oh, I did see something that, like, for me with pop songs, it becomes just very repetitive when it starts being about like that girl or my girl, just generic phrases that, because I think there was a comedian named Bo Burnham was who did it, but he made a song about it, and just make it generic so that any teen, tween, or anything in between could listen to it and think, oh, he's talking about me.
Now, now that's interesting because I'm oddly sentimental as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm this weird mixture of cynicism and sentimentality, but I do like those kind of vague songs where they're talking about kind of general vague terms and non-specific, because I'm not saying I don't partake, don't get me wrong, but like that's what I highly notice about most pop songs nowadays, is that they're extremely vague so that they could be about anybody or be about anything. They're meant to appeal to as many people as possible.
Exactly.
At the same time, I also realize, I think in that vein, and that's what they're engineered toward, is I can apply my own imagination to whatever the song is about. But when they're actually sitting there talking about, a sale on lawn chairs or something,
a sale on,
and they've set it to 4/4 times.
That song?
We have to make the sale on lawn chairs song.
Oh, we gotta do this.
Have to.
The lawn chair boys.
Oh man,
where my chairs at?
Oh, Jesus.
So I have a lot of these thoughts when I'm either driving around or in the shower. That's when I have my most bizarre.
Yeah. And
at least in the car, I can whip out my phone and do a little voice dictation about a note. But if I'm in the shower, the only thing I can do is lean out and use my finger to start writing in the fog on the bathroom mirror to remember this. Otherwise, I'm going to forget it by the time I'm toweled off and can get to my computer.
You need to put down the wine, sir.
You have a problem. Never.
Have to pry it from your
How
cold.
Dare you even suggest that?
Pry it from your
what is
cold
wrong
dead hands.
with you?
Have we met?
Jesus.
So let's see. I'm looking at my thing. I got that for our guest. This is about our guest.
Oh, can I say something that I learned over the weekend?
Yes.
Do you know
Please
why?
share.
Do you know why it's the phrase "It's raining cats and dogs"?
Do you want me to hazard a guess, or would you?
Yes,
is that a
please,
rhetorical question?
Please, I would love to.
I had heard somewhere that back in ye olden days, when the roofs were made of thatch and everything, and it used to rain, then the cats and dogs used to like slide and fall off the roofs.
Because farmers and cattle herders couldn't put their cattle or animals anywhere else but in the like attic area of their roof, and it was made of like thatcher material.
Well,
so when it got
I know
soggy,
the cattle was on the ground floor because they couldn't put the cattle on the second floor. But so all the other animals would be either in the rafters or up on the roof itself, and then they would fall in the rain.
Gosh, that is crazy. And then there's another phrase where it's don't. Have you ever heard of the phrase? It's pretty obscure, but it's "don't throw the baby out with the bathwater."
Yes.
Oh,
have you ever heard that? Do you know why that is?
God, I hope I don't know.
Tell us.
Because in also ye olden days, I learned all of this because we studied Shakespeare. Is because in ye olden days, they each took one bath a year, and the man of the household got to take the first bath, and then the wife, and then the older children, and then the baby. So by the time it got to the baby's turn for the bath, the water would be so dirty that it could get lost in there, and they would throw out the bathwater with the baby in it. Sometimes.
Why even washing the kid at that point?
I mean, it's crazy. It is insane.
That is gross.
Isn't that like
disgusting.
their yearly bath?
That makes me want to
That
gag,
phrase,
too.
that phrase alone, their yearly bath.
Ugh.
That just makes me want to gag thinking about it.
Isn't it horrible?
Oh, God.
My skin
Isn't it
starts to try to
terrible?
crawl off my body if I don't shower for 2 days.
I could only imagine what it was like back in the day when showers were not a common thing.
Well, that was when they were like stuffing herbs up their armpits to keep from killing each
yeah.
other from the stench at 10 paces.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And where they were also throwing their excrement into the street.
Yeah, so I know we like to romanticize a lot of eras. Like, oh, I wish I was born in the 50s. Well, unless you were white, you probably wouldn't. So I mean, you seem to people seem to romanticize a lot of eras, but you look back and you're like, oh yeah, but look at all the diseases you could catch just walking
Excrement
around.
in the street.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm done.
It's disgusting.
That's just...
Let's be honest. Things aren't so good today, but we have it pretty much better than previous.
Well,
thank God.
That's another conversation. Is like the lifespan now is like crazy. I think I'm already like the average lifespan of an adult from like the olden days.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm long dead by now.
yeah.
Like that is insane. And now, from my understanding, the average lifespan of somebody my age, born in my generation, is going to be like in the early hundreds.
Oh yeah, but
The average lifespan is going to be in the early hundreds.
I love your optimism that you think we'll all still be around by the time you're in your hundreds. That's adorable.
I mean, just a couple of hours driving in LA traffic though makes you wish the lifespan was a little shorter though.
Ow.
Yes, that's an interesting point. Health-wise, you'll live longer, but environment-wise, it'll sort of negate all of those benefits.
Yeah, we're overpopulated.
Good Lord.
What did Dwight say in The Office? We need a new plague.
Okay.
We're overdue.
we were due for one.
All right, we are going to take a break here
That's a
and
good
get
note to end it
reset,
on.
and then we're either going to come back and do our news stories, or we're going to do some news stories and get into our game, which we want to do later. But first, I want to go find out if our guest is lurking in the lobby, because as a polite person, he probably sees the on-air light on and is not coming in. So,
Oh yeah, I'm extremely rude, and I just walk in.
well, I got nothing.
That long
you said it.
outside.
You said it. I didn't have to say anything. So we're going to be right back, guys, here. This is Breakfast of Imbeciles every Tuesday and Thursday here on Griffin Radio.
We still never dressed like detectives. We still never did that.
Hey, it's
No.
the penultimate, not the ultimate.
That's true.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Although I don't have a trench coat.
Neither do I. I mean, if you
I got
see
a bathrobe.
if you see a guy like me walking around in a trench coat, you're
We
gonna
don't-
get ideas and run away.
We don't have to be noir detectives. We can be old school FBI agents. Just come in suits and ties
Men
and
in black.
fedoras.
That's true. Welcome back, everybody, to Breakfast of Imbeciles here on Griffin Radio every Tuesday and Thursday for the next one day. for the semester, and then we'll be taking our little winter break so that we can go home and
get fat,
relax,
get fatter, go to rehab, calm down a little bit.
That Lord knows I need it.
Yeah.
Let our exhausted minds take a break because of
seriously
the stress that this show can sometimes cause.
I think I'm going to have to actually take a break and maybe come up with a different show format for next semester because it's getting really difficult. I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to find stories.
You know, it's bad when you're scraping the bottom of the barrel and we get the stories that we get still.
Well, in full disclosure, because this is a very honest give and take show.
Yeah.
And there's very little illusions here between us and our listeners.
We love our listeners.
Some of the stories that I've been finding lately were from about 2 or 3 years ago.
Ooh.
But they were still funny, and I think they still needed to be...
but they still happen.
They still happen. They're still true news stories.
I think that's the important thing. I don't think the important thing is that, like, the time period that it happened recently, but that, like, it happened.
Yeah, this isn't breaking news. We're not all about the immediacy. We're just about the fact that we're the archive. We're the stupid things that have happened. It doesn't matter if they just happened or they happened a little longer than that ago.
Darn.
As long as you keep the name.
We should have some stupid breaking news, like a breaking news sound effect, and like if somebody texted us, "Hey, this stupid thing happened."
Oh,
yeah. Guys, breaking news! This person did this stupid thing.
Coming live from the Grossmont College parking lot. We have Susie here, who's making a 20-point turn. She can't park her car. We'll come back to you with an update and see if she's able to park.
Susie, how do you feel?
Pretty stupid. Well, yeah, you should.
What does your family have to say about this scandal?
It's like, Susie, do you know there's a line of 5 cars behind you?
A person on the scene reported, "Yeah, I had a final to get to, and it took me all day."
Susie, what do you have to say to your victims?
There you go. We could just run around, be beat reporters, look for stories on campus.
So,
this is the best.
Oh, poor Susie.
Start harassing innocent Grossmont College students.
The best part is there probably is somebody on campus named Susie who's like, I know I'm a bad driver. I'm embarrassed by it, but I didn't know they saw me.
We saw you, Susie. We saw you in all your shame.
By the way, Susie, if you're in the Griffin Center right now, sprawled across 2 couches sleeping, get up and free some space for somebody else's butt.
Get up. Don't be that person.
See, this is when we're going to burn all our bridges.
Yep.
Thursday will be a little bit more of a contrite tone. We'll have a little more conciliatory going
Thursday,
on. I'm going to have another little speech like I did the end of last semester.
It'll be the apology letter to Susie.
It will be. In an effort to have her drop her lawsuit. So I'm going to leave it up to you, gentlemen. Do you want to do a little bit of news first and kind of wait to see if our guest shows up? Actually, let's. I take that back. Let's do that. We'll do a little bit of news first.
Cool.
See if our guest comes, and then if he's not here by say 30, 35, then we'll play our game.
Sounds great.
I love it.
Then why don't we just start rocking out here, gentlemen?
Let's rock out with our socks out. Let's go.
I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
A 19-year-old man has been charged with making a bomb threat to the Walmart his girlfriend worked in to get her off work early.
It's the final countdown.
Logan Arsenault made an anonymous phone call to the police stating there was a bomb inside the Walmart where his girlfriend worked. The police evacuated the building and closed the Walmart store for 6 hours while a bomb squad made sure the building was safe. The police began an investigation to find the suspect behind the bomb hoax, and they traced the phone call to a phone booth nearby. The police investigation discovered Logan outside a coffee shop near the phone booth, and surveillance video discovered that Logan had gone into the shop, and he asked for change so he could make a call via the payphone outside. The staff at the coffee shop confirmed to the police.
All right.
Don't you dare. I literally heard Jesse say, all right. So
that means he's been brewing something.
Get that Law and Order thing ready.
Nick, I'm just saying, in this guy's defense.
Here we go.
In this guy's defense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, that's pretty romantic, if you ask me.
I beg your absolute pardon.
That's pretty romantic. All this guy wanted to do was, take his girl out. She had work. He figured, hey,
we don't know anything of the sort. All we know is he was trying to get her off work early. We have no idea if they had any plans, if they were going to redneck prom or whatever the hell they were doing.
That's true love right there.
My problem is there could have been so many more avenues you could have taken. Like so many more that wouldn't get you arrested.
You know what, Thunderstruck, it's a little early in the show for this, but
No. No. And
So be quiet.
I mean, come on. How many of us have had somebody call in a bomb threat for us to hang out with us? I mean, that's
You
sweet.
stop that right now.
You stop that immediately.
All right.
You are a terrible person.
I know.
It literally, and the thing is, without skipping a beat, he's to this guy's defense. Literally doesn't even get to
That's
finish
what he
the
does.
sentence.
He brings us a terrible, terrible alternate perspective just to annoy me. You are my foil.
The thing, it's the things we do for love.
And that's why you're confined to mic 3.
That's true. It's barely hanging on here.
So the police arrested this guy, charged him with a bomb hoax. The judge was heard in court telling him it was close to incomprehensible that somebody would call in a bomb threat to get their girlfriend off work. So clearly Judge Bossy Britches has never worked at a retail store during the holidays, because let me tell you, that was something that occurred to me a number of times at Best Buy.
Have you heard of that thing on the internet called swatting? Do you know what swatting is?
Oh, yeah.
That is unbelievable.
Some
go to,
kid,
like,
I think, is
federal
actually going.
prison.
Yeah, I think some kid actually just got life in prison because somebody died during a swatting prank. So it is not even close to funny.
That's crazy.
That's horrible.
Isn't it insane?
Christ.
They're just sitting there living their lives. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm sorry to bring the mood down.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
We need a little reset, a little calm.
I need a little calm.
I feel more serene now. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
A drunken man repeatedly called 911 to ask a series of weird questions, which led to his arrest.
People say I got a drinking problem.
Oh, God.
Oh man, country music in the morning. This reminds me of middle school. My mom taking me to Pepper Drive in her pickup truck.
Aww.
It really does. Mother loves country music.
John Barron made a number of 911 emergency calls to the Rock Hills Police Department in South Carolina, where he asked a bunch of bizarre questions. At 11 p.m., the 69-year-old made his first phone call to the emergency services and stated, police state that he asked the dispatcher how many legs an octopus had. The dispatcher sent police to John's home, where they found him extremely intoxicated and gave him a warning. 30 minutes later, he made a second call to 911, this time asking if the Russian alphabet was the same as the English alphabet. John, if you're listening, the answer is no.
I don't have to be a scholar to tell you that the answer is definitively no.
The police were sent to John's home again, where they found him disrobed from the waist down. According to the police, they had to dress him before arresting him, and that he was repeating expletives at the officers while resisting arrest, but eventually gave in. While exiting the police vehicle, he planted his left foot behind the passenger seat, claiming he was stuck.
Unreal. That is unreal.
I am fascinated by all these people that just...
God.
What in the world makes them think that these questions are so urgent that they have to call 911?
Oh my gosh. Well,
I think there's deeper-rooted issues with this one here.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you get people who are calling in, they want, emergency services to help them open a bottle of beer or something.
yeah.
Just saber it, for God's sake.
Yeah,
There is a non-emergency line also.
Yeah, you
people,
can just
right?
call.
Don't just always call 911. Your local police station does have a non-emergency line.
Exactly. They have a phone number where you can be like, "Hey, could you just go check something out?"
Yeah.
Or can you help me with this thing or this thing? I've got a cat stuck in a tree.
Now,
Call
I have
911.
no problem with that. If you call your local police department, the non-emergency line, because then they'll just tell you no or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they might be nice and be bored and want to help you. Yeah. But don't tie up the line with emergency services.
Stop wasting valuable resources.
Which, by the way, funny you mentioned that. I'm gonna hit my microphone
Earthquake.
first. What I'm gonna do is jump ahead because I have a related story.
Ooh.
Yay.
To emergency call operator Crescenda Williams appeared in court in Texas after facing 2 misdemeanor charges of interference with emergency telephone calls after she purposefully hung up because she, quote, did not want to talk to anyone.
Oh, God.
I'll have you know that at that exact moment, Thunderstruck took a drink of his coffee and struggled to keep it down.
Oh, my God.
Suspicions about Crescenda's lack of effort at her work arose after reports revealed she was having a high number of short calls between October 2015 and March 2016. A short call is a term used to describe emergency calls that last 20 seconds or less. A noted incident where her alleged lack of effort resulted in a death occurred on March 2016 as a convenience store was being robbed by a gunman. The robber was struggling with 3 of the store clerks when a customer, Mr. Lee, ran to his car to make the emergency call. He rung 911 and heard a response from Crescenda. "This is 911, how can I help you?" But before he could reply, he was disconnected. He had to call 911 a second time and spoke to a different operator, but by the time the police arrived, the store clerk had been shot to death.
Oh my goodness.
God.
Another incident occurred the very next day where a caller tried to report a couple of reckless drivers. She put down the phone and was heard saying, "Ain't nobody got time for that for real."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know why I did the accent. I just assumed.
That's unreal.
You said Crescenda.
When you hear somebody says, "Ain't nobody got time for this," you just assume there's a certain accent.
Well, you said
you see that
Texas,
woman.
right?
You see that woman on the news. Yeah, exactly, from Texas.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, deductive reasoning.
Oh,
it's not
Crescenda. What is wrong with you?
I do like that name though. Crescenda is a very unique name.
She just sounds like she was born with attitude and sassiness.
I get that.
Crescenda is I like that name.
Crescenda don't take nothing from nobody.
I would love it if her last name was Falls.
Oh wow.
That's a good drag name, Crescenda Falls.
Jesus.
Yeah,
she was employed by the Houston Emergency Center since 2014, and was discovered to be involved in over 1,000 short calls.
Jesus Christ.
She no longer works for the Houston Emergency Center.
Let's hope she doesn't work for any.
Hope so.
Let's hope she doesn't have work doing dispatch anywhere.
Did they talk about if she got charged for that, for hanging up on the guy? And then he got...
it just said she was in court. Again, this was an old story, so at the time it was new. So they said she was going to court, but they didn't say exactly what she was being charged with.
That is awful.
Oh,
imagine that you're in like this horrible situation and you call the cops, and then the only thing you hear on the other line, "I ain't got no time for that." Like what?
Right before
someone's dying.
Oh my gosh, that is unbelievable.
That's horrible.
How callous can you be when somebody's calling, "Oh my God, there's a gun. Somebody's trying to kill us. There's something happening at the store. They've got a gun and they're robbing." I'm bored now. Okay, bye.
That is.
I'm off in 5 minutes.
I'm off in 5 minutes, he said.
Terrible.
I'm off in 5 minutes.
Oh my God, he's been shot to death.
Oh, that's so awful.
I bet he was. Why are you bugging me for?
Oh man.
Oh,
this is going a place that I was not hoping it would.
Poor people.
That is unbelievable though. That is really truly unbelievable.
Shame.
She just wasn't feeling it anymore, and she's just like, you know what?
Oh, God.
You can deal with it yourself.
Pretty much, yeah.
That
was
unreal.
Shame on you.
Pretty much where she had gone. So yeah.
That's depressing.
Like you can't.
That is pretty awful.
Isn't it terrible?
I'm just
It's
saying.
terrible.
You're like the worst situation that you could imagine in your life, and then
life,
you get hit with the sassiness on the other line. Oh my goodness!
You would think that they would filter that kind of a situation out.
Well, if she had over 1,000 calls, I know I've worked at a call center for a number of years.
Okay,
and they have people who monitor those calls.
Right.
Every once in a while, they'll dip in just to listen. I don't know if that's not something they worry about. Customer service at an emergency service, but you would think after, she's got 500 short calls.
Yeah.
She's got 700 short calls.
Yeah.
She's got 900. You'd think somebody would want to just kind of sit next to her on the extension going, "Let's see what you do.
It's time for your review.
Show me how you do your work."
It seems like it did take him a long time to figure out something was going on with this woman.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, far too long, I think.
That's crazy.
Shame.
A robber mistakenly left his identification on the counter when running away from the site of a robbery.
Well, you don't know me. No, you don't know me.
Ooh.
Willie Hall robbed the Flowers Discount Bakery in Macon, Georgia, but left his wallet and ID on the counter. Generally, if you're conducting a robbery, there's not really a need for you to have your wallet, let alone to take it out. However, it was part of a prop in his robbery here.
Oh.
When he entered the bakery, he approached the counter and placed items near the register and put down his wallet to make the employees think he was ready to buy something. As the cashier opened the register, he snatched cash out of the till and ran out of the store, leaving his wallet behind, which had his ID enclosed. The police were contacted, and the Bibb County Sheriff's Office announced they were looking for him. Later in the day, he turned himself in and was booked.
It doesn't become...
It's
honestly,
so
to
stupid.
me, it doesn't even become funny anymore. It's just... How can people be this consistently
That's low-hanging fruit right there.
It's just so consistently dumb. It's not just dumb, it's consistent. You left your ID...
Yes.
Here's a thought to the robbery. don't bring it at all.
Well, I was going to make the analogy that it's like when you go to a club, you leave your wallet and everything else behind, but then again, when you go to a club, you do specifically take your ID, so that doesn't exactly work, but the principle applies. Leave your unnecessary things at home. Who was it, Coco Chanel, that said before you leave your house, take off one accessory?
Yes, that accessory should be your identification. Yes. Or when you're robbing a place, pay your taxi driver.
Oh, man, that was so stupid.
It went from very happy and lighthearted to, okay, now I'm very mad because you brought that up.
Just made me tired. Those people were
mentally
so
exhausted.
Stupid. So, Thunderstruck, just to briefly recap, 2 guys hired a cab to take them to a house that they were robbing.
All right.
And then they told the cab to wait. And then they took the cab back with a TV and a bunch of bottles of liquor to their house. But then they didn't pay the taxi driver, so then you just call the cops.
Okay.
They didn't pay the guy that drove them to and from the robbery.
Yeah.
They didn't pay him.
That is horrible. That is stupid.
Words fail me on that
I
one.
mean, you think you see genuine upset Lunchbox here. Imagine being in the moment and me laughing my butt off and Lunchbox just at the other end shaking his head in genuine frustration.
I just remember slumping ever so slightly, just kind of deflating in my chair.
Just the slightest of eye rolls.
It's
it was
very
amazing.
demoralizing.
That's depressing.
It was amazing.
We're going to take a quick little break here and get set up for our game, ladies and gents. So we will be right back here. Once again, this is Breakfast of Imbeciles. Why is this thing not doing the thing? There we go. We're going to be back. Give us about a couple of minutes, and we'll set up for our very fun game, and we're going to have a blast. Once again, Breakfast of Imbeciles, today and Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m., and we will be back in just a few.
He said, let's file the streams are high.
Oh my God. What is this?
What is
It's Carol of the Bells. It's Christmas Carol.
I'm very disturbed.
I feel threatened.
Jesse, hold me.
Oh,
Hold me.
where did you find this?
I don't even remember anymore.
What dark corner of the internet
Well,
did
it's
you
the
find
holiday
this?
season, and I didn't think that like a standard Christmas Carol would be quite appropriate here, so I just thought this would be a little fun.
Jeez.
Welcome back to Breakfast.
It's still not as bad as Little Drummer Boy.
What do you mean?
I hate that song.
Oh, you just don't like the song in
Just
general?
the song in
hate
general.
that song with a passion.
Well, welcome back to Breakfast of Imbeciles, ladies and gentlemen. So, I can't even talk. This song is too distracting.
Oh man,
It's
that is
making me laugh.
That is
but-
nightmare fuel. That is straight nightmare
I should have
fuel.
brought the 12 Drunk Days of Christmas. That's a classic
goodness.
too. So we are going to play a little game here. Some of you may remember it from the beginning of the semester, at the first or second week of September, I want to say it was. Chubby Bunnies. Chubby Bunnies have returned to us.
I feel like I can smell those marshmallows from here.
Some craft.
You can because the bag is open and they're 2 feet from your head.
What does
That's
jet
very
puffed
right.
mean?
Jet
Literally puffed by a jet?
Yeah, they have the big wind tunnel downtown. Or I think it's up in Point Loma, and they make the marshmallows there.
Huh.
No, I'm completely.
I know.
You still
Yeah.
sound so. It sounds like you're being serious. Wow.
Right before
I-
right
you
before
sound
the
so
jet
that is
launch
called
off.
You sound
acting.
so convincing. Oh.
So,
God.
yeah, I figured we would have a nice little,
Goodness
nice little game here.
gracious.
We were gonna save this for our guest, but it doesn't look like he is going to be able to make it today.
Let's do this.
So, for those of you who are new to listening to us making complete idiots of ourselves, we have a bag full of standard-sized Jet Puffs marshmallows right here. And what each of us do is all three of us are going to pop a marshmallow, and then in a circle we're going to read these limericks.
Yes.
These stupid limericks.
Grab
Ready.
mine
Off the
right
sheet.
now.
I'm ready to shove
and,
stuff in my mouth.
Well, this ain't Saturday, Jesse, and this is Snowcomb Boulevard, so
Okay.
settle down.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah, we're just going to
Earn that paycheck.
get going right here.
Earn that raise.
And
Oh, I'm starting? Okay.
since B-Milly here is our guest, he's going to start.
Okay, here we go.
Everybody take one.
All right. It's one.
Oh, one.
I'll read the hard one first. If you catch a chinchilla in Chile and cut off its beard willy-nilly, you can honestly say you made on that day a Chilean chinchilla's chinchilli.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
All right, everybody gotta grab a second one.
Somebody gotta get another one. Okay, here we go.
Jesus Christ.
Otherwise, this would take forever.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, go.
Teach us, Thunderstruck.
Okay. A mosquito was heard to complain that a chemist had poisoned his brain. The cause of his sorrow was paradichloroDiphenyltriclocathane. I'm not even gonna pronounce. I could not pronounce that.
I love that you read ahead and that's the one that you missed.
Okay, we all gotta do another one. Okay, got it.
I got paper towels here too. Hang on.
Got it.
I'm starting to drool already.
Oh my goodness. This is like my Saturday night.
This is such a... Yeah, I know,
It's
right?
delicious, though.
Well, they're fresh. It's a fresh bag. Okay.
What do we got?
Each night, Father fills me with dread. When he sits on the foot of my bed, I not mind that he speaks in gibbers and squeaks. For 17 years, he's been dead.
Oh my gosh. That's a bad one. Okay, here we go.
I'll get another one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I got.
All right.
Instruct us. Oh God.
Okay. On the chest of a variated sail was tattooed the prices of ale, and on her behind was the sake of the blind, was the same information in braille.
You got less audible, less understandable as it went on.
God, this is so unappetizing.
We'll take another one. Okay.
You have to.
Yeah, that's the game.
Oh God.
Yeah.
My turn. Okay.
You were in the wrong class earlier doing the workouts. You should have been working your mouth muscles.
Oh God. Okay. There was an old lady from Ghent who slept on a bed of cement. Her bed was well used and her body well bruised, and the back of her head had a dent. Oh, God.
It's a little late to ask, but I forgot. Does anybody know the Heimlich maneuver?
Oh no, I'm trained in CPR and first aid.
I can't believe that I'm only on my second limerick.
Get it.
Oh God.
There was a young dandy from Shoreham who had pants too tight, but he wore 'em. He looked very neat till he bent in the street to pick up a dime, and he tore 'em.
Oh goodness.
All right, another one. What are we at? 7?
I gotta say, I'm enjoying this yodeling so much.
What are we at? 7?
Yes? Where's my pen?
All right.
All right, Thunderstruck, show us how it's done.
No, I think it's my turn, isn't it?
You go.
Oh, is it yours?
I think it's
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, my turn. Yeah.
You're okay. There once was an old man from Esser, whose knowledge grew lesser and lesser. It at last grew so small, he knew nothing at all, and now he's a college professor.
A little shot off the bow here.
I'll take another one. Okay. Jesus Christ.
God, that's half the bag.
I have another bag, don't worry.
Oh.
Starting to sound like a troll over here. I don't think I took that one in New Zealand, so I have to pop in 2. Thank God they're dissolving in the back of my throat.
Don't choke yourself.
Oh, dear God.
Okay.
We're about to lose Thunderstruck here.
An elderly bride of port service was called.
Oh.
Oh no!
Stop. Oh, the laughter.
There's some water behind you if you want some.
The laughter. It got me. That was too much. Damn me.
Down to the 2 of us.
Okay.
If you're lacking a little good cheer, go and tickle a bull in the rear.
Jesus Christ.
For I'm sure that the rumor that they've no sense of humor is a product of ignorant fear.
Oh, that was amazing.
Oh my God, I didn't take one when you went. Oh my God, I am so behind.
Gotta take another one.
I have more marshmallows in my mouth than I do teeth now.
That was insane. That damn laughter.
All right.
Oh.
A dozen, a gross, and a score, or 3 times the square root of 4. Divided by 7 at 5 times 11 is 9 squared and not a bit more.
I have no more room in my mouth.
I think he said he has no more room in his mouth.
Thank you.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yes. I'll be the translator now. It's my job to pretty much translate for these two.
Oh, God. Hang on. Oh.
All right. DJ Lunchbox attempting to shove another marshmallow into the back of his throat.
Hang on.
Oh, God. DJ B-Milly.
I'm gonna do one more.
He's in the wastebasket.
Oh.
Oh, God.
My mouth was in actual physical pain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus.
There was a young lady from Kent whose nose.
He can't do it. It's over. It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God. Once they started to crown, I wasn't.
Oh, God.
I couldn't
Don't say once they started
Thank
to
you.
crown.
Great terminology.
I couldn't.
Great use of words.
Oh, dear God. Hang on.
And do you need a water? Okay.
Yeah, I got. No, I planned ahead on this.
Oh, my goodness. What a mess we got ourselves into.
Oh my gosh.
Well, now my mouth is all stretched out and.
Ow.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Well,
man. Oh, man.
that's a pretty impressive pile of marshmallows in there, and most of them are still whole and not chewed.
That's unreal.
Well, let's just put this to bed here.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, wow.
My mouth feels violated.
Well,
So our host is the
I finally won!
unbelievable winner.
The winner!
I finally won my own darn game.
Oh, God.
Congratulations.
I feel so good right now.
Oh, man.
Not physically, but emotionally.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
physically I am in pain.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of marshmallows.
This broke me.
So, I'm just not.
I agree. Random voiceover artist.
Okay.
Oh
so,
my goodness.
yeah, that was. So, did you guys like doing that again? Was that kind of fun?
Nice.
That was fun.
Nice.
That's always
Not
fun.
thrilling, but nice.
Thank you, sir. That it's always fun.
Little Dom DeLuise action, ladies and
It
gentlemen.
was fun.
Oh.
Can I get
so-
the
Yes,
for my
yes. Here,
Thank
the
you so
trash
much.
Can. You can take that over
Jeez,
there.
thank you.
Oh. Well, thank you so much for playing along, guys. I think that was probably the last round for the semester.
I feel like a new man.
You feel better now?
Oh, yeah.
Got a little sugar trickling down your throat in your system now?
It's all dripping back down there. I feel
Ooh.
amazing.
I have a certain marshmallow post-nasal drip going on.
We still have to talk to make this official about doing that thing for the end of the semester that we were talking about, where we get everybody in here to do the D&D thing.
Oh, you know what? I feel so bad because I know I mentioned that, and then it completely flew out of my head, and I didn't plan anything.
It's okay.
If we can, that would be fantastic. Remus had actually mentioned it to me this morning, that's what he was thinking about doing,
I mean,
like as an ongoing thing next semester.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do a one shot and see how everybody pans out with it and see what everybody does. I think it'd be really, really, really fun.
I think so too. I've played D&D a little bit. For a couple of months, it was a little sporadic. So, and I will tell you right now, I don't math well. So when it comes time to start calculating your rolls, I whip out my pencil. I've got to start looking up things.
I'm telling you, you don't have to be. You have to play it, because me and my friends do a podcast for it, and we play every Friday, and we put out an episode every Monday. But it is the funnest, funniest, most sporadic, ridiculous, funny, amazing thing that I've ever done in my life. I love it to death. It's so fun.
That's awesome.
And
you always get that light in your eye when you start talking about it.
And it gets everybody out of their shell, man. Yeah. I think everybody should play it, because it's just it really does have something for everybody, because if you're not into the story or let's go do this, it's then let's destroy some things with swords and knives.
And who doesn't want to do that?
Yeah, you know? So, I mean, I would love to do a one-shot for you guys and see if that format works.
I would love to participate.
Oh,
I would
man,
have so much fun.
You
should totally talk to Remus about that, because that was something that he was also really interested in doing here. So I think if the two of you coordinated on it, we could really get a good thing going.
And I've got to talk to Wirg about coming back next semester for a work study for the last semester, because, excuse me, I will be transferring next semester for the following. So I'll have one more semester here until I officially transfer. So I'll have one more semester. So I'm hoping that I can come back and do a work study so that I can help you guys out with whatever you need.
I hope so too, because it's a lot of fun when you get to show up here and participate in our shows.
I mean, I'm already here a lot already. I might as well get credit for it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm already here. I might as well get paid or something.
But yeah, I mean, I'd love to.
Now, B-Milly, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it is 10 till. Do you need to get to a class right now?
I got like 4 minutes.
Okay. Do you guys want to take a swing at a couple more news stories we got here? Because I got a pile.
Yes.
Pile of stories.
Yes.
Oh, God. What is with these angry people? A hairstylist attacked her husband with a burrito and a pair of scissors after he cooked potatoes for dinner.
Potatoes, I'll eat them all day. Potatoes, I'll eat them all day. P-O-T-A-T-O.
Where do you find these things?
I actually saw this on YouTube. Somebody Facebooked it to me not too long ago, and it was really funny.
Oh, that's fun.
Roberta Levy, wife of 59-year-old Douglas Levy, stood trial earlier this week after attacking her husband with a burrito and chasing him around the house with a pair of scissors after an argument over him cooking potatoes for dinner. The fight began when Douglas arrived at the Bay City, Michigan home with his 6-year-old daughter and a bag of potatoes to cook for dinner. Douglas had brought home 3 potatoes to bake and eat with broccoli. While he was cutting up the root vegetables, his wife announced, "I don't want a potato." Enraged by the potato dinner, she opened the freezer, grabbed a frozen burrito, and threw it at her husband, and then launched into a tirade. Her husband testified against her in court, saying, she said, "What's wrong with you? What are you doing?" She was just screaming. I couldn't even make out what she was saying. She just snapped and started chasing me with a pair of scissors.
You know how I feel about potatoes, honey. You know they're my least favorite food ever.
I'm not even thinking it was necessarily that. I'm going to go a little bit further and say there was some sort of trauma in her childhood involving a potato. You know, like a truck backed up and dumped a load of them on her.
Oh, God.
He recalled the events and told the court also his wife had said to him, "What are you, a woman?" while waving the scissors in her hand.
What are you, a woman?
Yeah, what are you, a woman? Yeah. So, it's a happy house.
What a
Clearly.
waste. What a waste of a frozen burrito.
Well, you could still,
I'm glad
it's
you
still
have your
frozen. You
priorities
can just dust it
straight,
off.
Thunderstruck.
Yeah. No. No, but maybe she unwrapped it first.
Okay.
You make a good point. You always bring an extra perspective here that we were really not ever expecting or honestly looking for.
I just want to know if it was one of those tiny ones, though, or those like gigantic XL burritos from 7-Eleven.
Well, either way, it's a rock. It's going to hurt one way or the other.
Oh, God.
It's not going to make a difference whether it was bean and cheese or...
Hey, you never know.
I mean, it doesn't...
Those beans could make it a little heavy. Oh, man. Get some rice in there. Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
The expression is "holy for holies," not heavy for holies.
Now we're talking shrapnel.
Yeah, now we're talking like that's a felony right there.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine going to a crime scene with like a burrito exploded?
An IED.
It's only a misdemeanor. It doesn't have any rice in it.
Yeah,
improvised exploding burrito. That's
they up your crime depending on the ingredients.
Oh, God.
Wow, there were clearly bell peppers in this. So we're
putting you.
That's sick SOB.
Min-max regulations say we should tack on an extra 5 years to her sentence.
Oh my gosh.
I love that the burrito was the part that you fixated on, not the fact that she was chasing him with scissors around the house, calling him a woman, screaming.
Maybe
so
I'm
funny.
hungry. All right.
That crazy man used carne asada in it.
Oh.
The sick freak.
We're going to see that on CNN one of these nights. Nancy Grace is going to cover that.
Oh, God.
With her stupid little handcuff necklace.
Have a problem with Nancy Grace, do we?
I find her just such a vulture. Anyway, after 2 creepy clowns were reported spotted chasing cars, it was later found out they had left their child at home alone to pull the pranks. Menasha police officers were called to the scene after they received reports of people dressed as clowns chasing cars. The police stopped the 2, 29 and 20-year-olds, and interviewed them. Police found they had an accomplice who was a 26-year-old woman who had been driving them from location to location to help them in their clownery.
Their clownery? Oh, that's an amazing word. Can I steal that? My clownery?
I wish
that's
you would.
Amazing.
Through further investigation, the police discovered that while the trio were out conducting their little prank, the 29-year-old man and the 26-year-old getaway driver had left their 4-year-old child at home alone, unattended for a minimum of a few hours. Due to neglect from the parents, the child was taken and temporarily rehoused by the Department of Human Services. So they're idiots and clowns? This kid being taken away by protective services is probably the first good thing that's ever happened to him.
Oh, God. Oh, my
Kid was probably like, take me now. Please.
That's depressing.
I don't get people sometimes.
That's depressing.
All right, guys.
You're going to get out of here, Mr.
I'm
B-Milly?
going to have to. 4 minutes till the next class.
Well, enjoy your next class.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you can come by on Thursday, please do, because we'll have our little wrap-up show.
Yeah, of course.
But we will see you later, B-Milly.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
I'm done.
There he goes. He's walking away.
Yep, there he goes. I think we got time for one last show.
Let's do another show, ladies.
Well, we do
and
have time for
gentlemen.
one last show in 48 hours, but
Let's
we're going to do.
this.
I'm octopus armsing here and not paying attention to what I'm saying. Oh man. 2 women have been arrested on drug charges after they posted a sign on their door stating "Snitches will be searched."
Just give me some kind of sign.
All right.
Oh, my baby, to show me that you're mine.
April Lavender and Christy Weiss have been arrested after leaving an anti-snitching sign up on their front door of their home in Oak Hill, West Virginia. When the police arrived at the door, they noticed a sign causing suspicion that the residents might have been selling drugs. The sign read, "Due to snitches, everyone entering my home is subject to being searched. All cell phones and drinks will be left outside." Drinks?
Oh.
"If you're not a snitch, it won't offend you if I search you." The police talked to the owners of the property and received consent to search the home. The search concluded with police seizing substantial quantities of heroin and meth. Both women were arrested.
Who would have thought?
I know. What a surprise that there was meth. Who knew?
Like that. Like, I love how the sign, the sign was necessary. Like, you couldn't just say that to every person that came through to your house.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an unwritten policy.
Well, and how many people do you have come to your house? Obviously, if you have that many people coming, that's a pretty strong indicator that you're conducting some sort of business out of your house.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that many friends. Even when I had friends, I didn't have that many friends.
Might as well have just written a Facebook post and got it over with.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Sheriff Steve Kessler released a statement. "While drug investigations often require a great deal of time and effort, sometimes the criminals make our job pretty easy. If someone posts a sign on their front door searching snitches, it's a pretty safe bet there are illegal drugs being sold out of that location." So...
Oh man, it's just making the police department's job much easier.
I love how many of these stories have been doing that lately. People just calling up, "Have you found my weed?
Yeah.
Have you found my weed?"
Or like the police departments that have their own Facebook accounts, they'll release the mug shots and they'll go, "Could you delete that photo of me? It's not a
that
good
one
photo."
Was so stupid. That guy was,
God.
It's not the assault charges that bothered him. It's the fact that the police had posted an unflattering mugshot photo.
Right. But in his defense, I could see myself doing that as well. I could see.
You could never take an unflattering photo.
I wish I believed that. That's why I work in radio.
Let me rephrase that. Not anymore. I've seen the pictures when you were younger. That's a whole different.
Yeah. No. That's why I work in radio.
That's a whole different ball of wax.
They wouldn't even let me go into the TV station downstairs. I might break the camera.
All the lens is cracked.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm ugly.
So that's because you're a witch, though.
That's true.
All right. Well, that's, I think, enough madness for today. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, on Breakfast of Imbeciles this Tuesday and next Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. We will be having our last show on Thursday.
Woo!
And for the semester anyway. And we'll do a little kind of end of semester wrap up and have a good time. Don't forget to check us out on our Facebook page at Griffin Radio 119. Our Instagram account is Griffin Radio SD. And, of course, you can always hear us on the TuneIn app under the Griffin Radio channel for your Android and iPhone. You can listen to us on our school website at grossmont.edu/griffinradio. And don't forget to shoot me a line at lunchboxthedj@gmail.com. I am DJ Lunchbox here with...
DJ Thunderstruck.
Who's missing his cues and already checking out, even though I haven't turned the microphones off. Thank you for that.
I'm dead inside.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on Thursday.